You've made it through security. Your window seat is waiting. The plane is moments from takeoff. But there's one factor that can quietly shift your flight from pleasant to painfully awkward: how you treat the flight attendants. They're trained to stay professional and keep smiling, but that doesn't mean everything you do goes unnoticed. In fact, there's a whole list of things that drive flight attendants up the cabin wall. Want to get better service and avoid those silent eye rolls behind the curtain? Here are 15 things flight attendants secretly hate and how to avoid being that passenger. Let's start with the first mistake before the plane even leaves the ground: going to the bathroom during boarding. The boarding process is already slow enough, and when someone suddenly bolts to the bathroom while passengers are still loading, it creates chaos. Boarding is timed, and delays reflect poorly on the flight crew. That quick restroom trip backs up the line, confuses the seating count, and interferes with final preparations, especially since lavatories are still being cleaned and stocked during boarding. A better plan? Use the airport restroom before your boarding group is called. It's cleaner, larger, and you won't be met with passive-aggressive sighs from the people behind you. Bringing too many carry-ons. You've seen it. A passenger juggling a roller bag, 2 backpacks, a neck pillow the size of a dog, and a duty-free bag. And then they start stuffing bags into every overhead bin within reach, regardless of their seat. Cabin storage is limited. When one person hogs the space, others are left scrambling, and it's flight attendants who have to sort it out. Stick to 1 carry-on and 1 personal item. Use the space under the seat, and don't stash your bag rows away from your own. Respect the overhead bin. Unleashing strong smells. Someone opens tuna salad, someone else kicks off their shoes. Suddenly, the entire cabin is assaulted with odors. Airplanes recirculate air. That means any scent you release, be it perfume, fast food, or stinky socks, is shared with everyone on board. Be mindful. Choose neutral snacks. Wear deodorant. And unless your feet are pristine, keep your shoes on. If it wouldn't fly in a small elevator or a church pew, it doesn't belong on a plane. Zoning out during service. You're deep into a movie. Noise-canceling headphones are on. You're in the zone. But now the flight attendant is waving a hand in front of your face trying to ask, coffee or tea? You don't have to make conversation, but acknowledging them helps. Remove an earbud, make eye contact, and respond. It's respectful, it keeps things moving, and it ensures you actually get the drink or snack you wanted. Switching seats mid-flight. You spot an empty row and figure, why not? But switching seats mid-flight isn't as harmless as it seems. It messes with weight balance, emergency protocols, and the head count the crew is responsible for. If you want extra space, pay for it, or hope you're reassigned at the gate. Once you're airborne, stay in your assigned seat. Musical chairs is not an in-flight game. Getting up when the seatbelt sign is on. Turbulence hits, the seatbelt light dings, and someone decides now is the moment to grab a sweater or hit the bathroom. No. If flight attendants are buckled up, you should be too. Getting up during bumps isn't just annoying, it's dangerous. You could fall, injure others, or get steamrolled by the beverage cart. Stay seated until the sign goes off, unless it's a real emergency. Overusing the call button. But pressing it every 5 minutes for snacks, updates, or fluff questions? That's how you get quietly ignored. Flight attendants prioritize genuine needs. Repeated, unnecessary buzzing wastes their time and delays service for others. Use it when it counts, not like you're on a game show. Asking what's on the menu while holding the menu. You've had the in-flight menu for over an hour, yet when the cart arrives, you look up and ask, so, what do you have? That small delay adds up, especially on full flights. Know what you want before they reach you, and if you're still undecided, just say, surprise me, I trust you. They'll appreciate it, and so will everyone behind you. Using the seat back pocket as a trash can. When the trash bag comes around, that's your moment. Don't cram tissues and wrappers into the seat back pocket like you're hiding evidence. That space is shared. It's not for garbage. Hand trash to the crew when asked, and never mix garbage with your drink tray. Respect the space, it's not your personal storage bin. Ignoring the safety demonstration. The seatbelt demo starts. You pop in earbuds, scroll your phone, and tune out. It's boring, right? Maybe, but in an emergency, it's vital. Even frequent flyers can forget exit locations or how to use a life vest. Paying attention shows respect for the crew, and it could save your life. Pretend it's your first time flying. Touching a flight attendant. Tapping someone's shoulder? Maybe. Grabbing their waist or leg to get their attention? Absolutely not. This isn't a restaurant and they're not your friend. Use your voice or wave politely. Boundaries still exist at 35,000 feet. Filming the crew without permission. You saw it online. Someone filmed a disagreement with a flight attendant and it went viral. But don't try to recreate it. Filming crew members without consent is invasive and escalates tension. It distracts from safety and it won't solve anything. If you have a problem, report it later. Mid-flight is not the time for social media drama. Hanging out in the galley. You stretch your legs and drift toward the back of the plane. Then you start chatting near the galley, leaning against equipment, checking your phone. That galley isn't a lounge. It's the crew's only workspace. They prepare food, store supplies, and handle emergencies there. Stretch your legs in the aisle, then return to your seat, pretending you didn't hear the announcement. The plane begins its descent. The crew announces, "Seats upright, tray tables stowed," but you leave yours slightly tilted and pretend to be asleep. They notice, you notice, just adjust your seat. These aren't arbitrary rules, they're safety procedures. Don't make them beg. Be an adult and follow instructions. Leaving a disaster behind. The flight ends, you grab your stuff and go, but what you leave behind matters. Crumbs, tissues, wrappers, and spilled drinks turn your seat into a post-flight crime scene. Flight attendants often have 30 minutes to turn that plane around. Help them out. Take your trash. Leave it like you would if your mom were inspecting. Bonus tips, the little things that make a big difference. Love window seats? Great for the view, but they're also the coldest part of the cabin. Temperatures outside the plane can drop to 140 dF. If you're dressed for summer, bring an extra layer or ask for a blanket. Your knees will thank you. Craving coffee or tea mid-flight? That hot water often comes from tanks that aren't cleaned regularly. Studies have found bacteria like E. coli and staph in those systems. Many flight attendants avoid the coffee, and you might want to as well. Stick to bottled water or sealed juice instead. And if you're wondering where the germiest spots on the plane are, it's not the bathroom. It's the tray table and the seat back pocket. These are rarely sanitized between flights and often contain trash from previous passengers. Some people even change diapers on tray tables. Gross, right? Bring disinfectant wipes, keep your items off those surfaces, and never eat food that's been placed directly on the tray. Fly smart, fly kind. There you have it. 15 things that flight attendants secretly hate, plus a few extra tips to make you a model traveler. Flying doesn't have to be frustrating. A little self-awareness and courtesy go a long way, for the crew, your fellow passengers, and your own peace of mind. If you learned something new, consider sharing this with your favorite travel buddy. And remember, the skies are friendlier when we all try just a little harder.